Hello and welcome to Please Don't Eat the Sage, a podcast dedicated to demystifying mysticism. This season we're discussing magic, rituals, and witches, and talking with a new enchanting guest every other Tuesday. The Thursday following these interviews, you'll get to know our guests even better in a bonus Minisode, where I give them a reading from my 90s themed Total Betty Goddess deck. Like all of our interviews this season, today's offering also has a video companion available in the links below. This week's guest is artist, coach, and oracle deck creator, Gabriella Rosie. And now, on with the show. We're going to dive in to Gabriella Rosie's Total Betty Goddess pull. So I like to just ask that we get a divine goddess energy that's going to serve your current vibe. And I didn't even get to shuffle once before one dropped out. So we're going to go with that one. And I'm excited because
screaming us.
My other episodes that I've done we've pulled 90s characters that the person that I'm pulling for isn't as familiar with, which is fine because some of these are very niche, like my 90s experience. But I'm pretty sure we're going to have stuff to talk about this one. So your goddess is Ariadne, played by Christina Ricci.
Oh my God.
Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family Values. So first of all, your little mini read that we have here is Ariadne. She's a transition from girlhood into womanhood. So that like in between time. But I love that for any artist as you transition from stage to stage and moment to moment in your life. And so this is kind of marking, as we talked about in the episode, your transition from your previous deck into this new deck and this new launch. And the message behind it is that you have to carve out your own path and follow your own endeavors. So it's kind of that, like, I like to think of it as almost like this card is always speaking to the inner teen in us that's like trying to find ourselves in the world and like trying to catch other views of other people in the world that we're trying to figure out who we're like. And then ultimately being like, but no, you just have to be that little weirdo Wednesday Addams and allow yourself to be your fullest authentic self, which I think is exactly what you do in your life and your business. But I think that this card came out as like a marker of this transition into this new era.
Oh, I love that.
What is your experience of Christina Ricci, Wednesday Addams, Addams Family Values? How does that come up for you as far as memories, nostalgia?
I mean, first of all, obsessed with those movies, like obsessed. I think Morticia is like my life idol, like just her energy is who I want to be, who I want to emulate always. I feel like I'm definitely always loved Wednesday, but I'm like just a little bit too hyperactive to pull off the Wednesday energy. Definitely relate to just the idea of, I don't know, maybe maturation of with the card pull. And I think that's something as a creative that I've always been playing with. I feel like we always want to be like, I'm going to arrive one day and I'm going to be like a finished idea and I'll have found my style and I've found this whatever.
Where's the fun?
Whereas what I've found is exactly, but I'm like, one day we'll figure it out, one day we'll have it all solid. But I think this idea that we're going to be constantly evolving and coming to different stages, and there's going to be girlhood and womanhood in like a constant cycle, like feeling like a baby and then feeling like I'm figuring stuff out, feeling like I'm rebelling against myself. Yeah, I want to find ways that I can channel Wednesday energy a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. And I know I was such a huge fan of Christina Ricci in the 90s. And so that just bled over into the Wednesday Addam. And I'm the same way. I think I'm a little more hyperactive. And I can probably bring it down to more of a Wednesday Addams vibe. Did you watch the TV series?
Only like half of it. And this is reminding me that I need to finish it. I'm so bad. I like start a show and then just like forget about it entirely. But yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like we need to have I need to have definitely just the calm, like stand back, watch things happen and then come in and just like fire everybody, like turn shit up.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you very much for bringing your energy to this podcast. And again, thank you very much for helping to make my own deck a possibility.
It's beautiful. It's so good.
Thank you. Ultimate compliments. But yeah, it was so fun bonding with you over the 90s and magic and creativity and rituals. And I appreciate you entertaining the idea, even though you didn't think that you were that ritualistic.
I'm just rebelling against it. Anything that
You are.
becomes a ritual, anything that becomes a routine, I'm like, fuck no.
And honestly, that
In
goes
reality,
very
my life
well.
is laced.
It goes very well with your card, rebelling against what's expected.
Exactly.
And that is the end of our little mini episode. Find out more about Gabby by visiting her website, GabriellaRosie.com, or by visiting her Instagram at Gabriella Rosie. This episode of Please Don't Eat the Sage was brought to you in part by my Patreon members. So I'd like to thank Ashley, Laura, Caitlin, Amanda, and Karen. If you'd like to join their ranks, you can do so over at patreon.com/Michelle Shea. You can also support this podcast by pre-ordering your own copy of the Total Betty Goddess deck, or head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review.